Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Melanated Air Hour. This is 1 hour where you get to take in and breathe air that is melanated. Our conversation will be about life and or business. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday, the Melanated Air Hour. I don't do this by myself. I am Lene Javette. I do this with three, four, five. There's a total of five of us, but four other co-hosts. So myself, I am Lene Javette. You have Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talks, tuning in from Egypt. You have Madam President at one Madam President with the Z. What's up, Chanel? You have the Keisha Ravenel at We Inspire Brand. Hey, boo, how you doing?
Hey, boo.
And then you have the Miss Faye Bishop at Miss Faye Bishop. What is good? We get her on Thursdays. And so today we're just going to jump right in. There's been a lot of fake, part of my language, a lot of fake shit going on in the news and the media as of late. And we want to talk about when faking it goes wrong. Teddy brought a topic to us this week and we were like, yeah, we need to have that conversation. So I'm going to turn it over to her so she can take us right in. But before I do, make sure you drop a hello in the comments, a thumbs up, a what's up, a hey ladies, how you doing? If this is your first time here, let us know. If you've been here before, let us know that too. Give us a thumbs up, a like, comment, and or a share. Okay. With that being said, Miss Teddy.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out this afternoon. I was about to say tonight. Y'all know I'm on Egypt time. But a few days ago, I was online. You know how you have those sponsored ads at the bottom of whatever you're looking at. And it was an article about Naturi Naughton. I know I'm butchering her name, but she's the actress off of Empire, the TV show Empire. She plays the wife, ghost wife. And she was saying how when she did MTV Cribs, back when she was part of the music group, I think it was 3LW, her and her group mates, they all were supposedly living in this very nice house in the middle of Hollywood somewhere. But in the story, she's stating that they didn't own any of it. It was all staged. MTV itself had rented the home and all of the stuff. They decorated it, staged it, and everything. And it was so bad that they even had to be out of the house by 7 p.m. and cleaned. They didn't have to clean. I think MTV Cribs cleaned by 7 p.m. that day so that the owners of the home could come back and do their thing. And it just got me thinking it. So I posed it to the girls and I'm like, you know, how often does this happen? How often do we see things on TV, read them in articles, and it's just not represented as truth? I mean, if MTV Cribs was doing this with them, imagine all of the other celebrities who were, you know, when we were watching that in what was this, like the early 2000s, I guess was about the time frame.
Yeah.
That wasn't real. And you're sitting there, you know, certain people are lusting after that or wishing or agreeing with envy or jealous, just hoping that they get there. And you realize they're not anywhere. They're not, it's all staged. It's all fake. Now with the advent of social media, it's that much easier to take a picture in front of something and make it look like you're on a vacation island and you're really down in downtown Atlanta in front of, you know, 5 Points somewhere, right? In front of the waterfalls. So, so the ladies have their own amazing stories, some industry secrets, some people they've encountered that are very similar to this. And I wanted to bring this to y'all so that we could have this discussion about what's real, what's fake, and why it shouldn't matter, but it does. So I'm gonna put this out there. So ladies, you know, I'm gonna give this to whoever wants it. Let me know your thoughts on the fake, like my husband says, fake book, and until you make it. You know, what is that? How do we overcome it? How does it help and hurt us in business? You know, another name came to my mind was that Derek Jackson. Is that his name? I mean, yeah. Like you living this whole life up here and you doing the opposite, the complete opposite in your real life. So, hey, take it away.
Can I just say, listening to Teddy, it started to make me a little emotional because like I can identify with this all too well. So we're talking about the early 2000s. In the early 2000s, I was about, you know, I was in my preteen, teenage years. And I remember looking at MTV Cribs like, I want to be like that. I want that. Yeah, I want those houses. Oh, I want that closet that Mariah Carey has. And I'm not saying that Mariah Carey's closet was fake. I don't know who was faking and who wasn't. But I was a young girl saying, yes, this is what I want, and this is what I aspire to get. I didn't want to be like a rapper or a singer or anything like that, but I wanted the big house. I wanted the big closet. I wanted the cars. Like, I wanted all of that stuff when I
What
was
is that
watching.
lifestyle?
I wanted the lifestyle. And it's so funny because I had a group of friends and we were like, ooh, like maybe we should be like a singing group and, be like a 3LW and a Destiny's Child and like, all of these other singing groups. And this is the effect that it has on young Black children. I was a child at the time, like, and seeing this stuff. The Bow Wow Challenge was a thing way before the Bow Wow Challenge, right? Like, it was a thing, and it's going to continue to be a thing because people want to show that they have these materialistic things, right? Their value, their worth is in these materialistic things. And it just makes me emotional because it sucks. Like, it really does suck. It's like, this is not what
desirous.
Huh? Say that again?
No. That was my computer. Sorry.
Oh. I was like, yeah. Back me up.
I am backing you up though, because I grew up in the 2000s too, so I know about that.
Right. And it's just like, this is not what your worth is defined by. And not even, as a child, and I tell you guys this story all the time, like my I am enough line, my apparel, it's because even as an adult, I looked at social media. Now I wasn't looking at TV, but I was looking at social media like, oh, snap, like I don't have what these other women have. Like, is this what men want? Do I have to look a certain way for me to find a man, find a husband? And this was after my broken engagement. And I'm like, oh man, like, what am I going to do? And it took me doing some deep internal diving, some therapy, some meditation. Like, I had to do a lot of healing for me to say, like, no, this is me and this is what you're going to get. And whether you like it or not, like, I am enough. If I'm not enough for you, that's cool, but I'm enough for myself. And whoever likes it, they like it. If you want to rock with it. And if you don't, then you don't. So like, I created this line as a reminder, and I would be lying if I said I still don't go back to those moments. Like, oh, like, do I want that? Like, and then I have to ask myself, well, why do I want this particular thing? Is it to look good for someone else, or is it because I'm making myself happy?
That's interesting you say that. I am enough, Keisha, because, and I too am about to get a little choked up about this, because as someone who has worked in the industry since the early 2000s, and I transitioned from being a theater kid, once living in New York City, to working behind the scenes, doing advertising and marketing for a lot of casting directors. You get to meet a lot of people and you talk to a lot of people who work in this field. And even those who don't, those who work in business, particularly the younger people who don't feel that they are enough. And when I think of the Notori Naughtons of the world who had to fake her MTV cribs, I want everyone on the panel and in the comment section to know that this isn't a new thing that started with social media. This is something that has been happening for decades, since Hollywood became, I would say, more so televised, and the red carpets became like a televised thing. And I would say that they started allowing the everyday average Joe into the homes of many people, of many celebrities and stars and actors and film stars and TV stars, dating all the way back to the late 70s and 80s. We're talking Studio 54, which kind of introduced everyone into that red carpet world. Remember, the red carpet world wasn't really much of a televised event until the era of disco, when Studio 54 became its own thing. And so many celebrities showing up at a particular business or entity made it like this billion-dollar brand. Then in the 80s, enter lifestyles of the rich and famous. I'm probably giving away my age with that, but I don't know if anyone in the comment section is very familiar with that show, but that was the MTV Cribs before MTV had MTV Cribs. And many years ago, there was a man by the name of Tony Turner. He worked as a road manager for Diana Ross and the Supremes back in the day during the height of their career. And he revealed, I would say, sometime either in the mid or late 90s, that Mary Wilson of the Supremes had appeared on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And guess what she did? She had to use, or should I say, borrow a friend's mansion to pretend that it was her house. Because in reality, she and her children lived in a 2-bedroom bungalow at the time and didn't have much money. And the person whose home that she borrowed was that of Tony Turner, who lived in Long Island, New York. So what he did is he gave her a couple of days to get all her belongings in the house. This means she gets to bring her picture frames, Grammys, platinum plaques, and all those kind of awards to set up shop, before the film and the camera crew gets there, to make it look like it was her place. And then he gave her about 24 hours to get out. And he didn't reveal that until like the mid to late 90s. Now, back then, we didn't have the Instagram and the Facebook and the Twitter to cancel Mary Wilson or to call out Mary Wilson, because they didn't have it at the time. But I just want everyone to know that this existed even then, going as far back as the 70s and the 80s, where a lot of people were faking it until they made it. And this is the part that chokes me up, because I think what is going on, and I'm seeing it on social media, I'm seeing it everywhere. I feel like this idea is why aspiration inflation syndrome, as they call it, better known as histrionic personality disorder, is something, and yes, this is a real mental illness, is something that is really taking over so many kids and teens, as well as a lot of adults who don't know that they have it. Histrionic personality disorder, for those who are not familiar, is a psychiatric disorder distinguished by a pattern of exaggerated emotionality and attention-seeking behaviors that tends to stem from an excessive desire for approval. Okay, a lot of the people may exhibit sexually provocative behavior. I mean, I think we can all go to Instagram and OnlyFans to see a lot of that taking place there. We see it with people who are constantly posting on the feeds. They're expressing like lots of strong emotions with an impressionistic style. And the thing with a lot of people who suffer from histrionic personality disorder is that they tend to be very easily influenced by others. So when Keisha says, when she was just a teen and she starts to wonder, dag, is my regular little life not enough? Is what I'm doing not enough? We tend to dive, when we start to have those feelings for ourselves, we start to tend to seek validation and tend to look for the approval of others constantly on the outside. And histrionic personality disorder does tend to start when you're a kid, but studies are now showing that many adults suffer from it as well. And I believe social media is the worst place to be for those who suffer with it, because it only makes the condition worse. What we have now is a lot of people are being conditioned to believe that there is something wrong with being ordinary or regular, that what you have isn't enough. Keisha, I got to quote you there, that living a regular life isn't enough, and that we must all aspire to be some sort of grand emperor in the world, and that your high hopes and you're supposed to have all these supersized ambitions. And what's happening is that all of this is being mostly stoked by this culture. And we're living in a culture now that is constantly exaggerating and telling us we need to glorify everything. And not only do we need to glorify it, we also need to film it and capture it on camera as often as we get to keep up with our peers. Not only our family members, because back in the day, the race was just against our own siblings, the people you lived in the house with, the people we were running up and down the street trying to beat in the regular race. Now they want you to keep up with your peers constantly. And I believe that a lot of this is contributing to why the suicide rates are up. It's contributing to why a lot of people are stressed out, as why a lot of people are suffering from depression. And it's something that we really need to dig into.
You know, it's no longer keeping up with the Joneses, which is what, you know, the terminology that we're used to and what we know. The Joneses are the people who live next door to us. We don't know what's going on in their house. We just see what car they drive. We see their kids and we're like, I want that. Now it's keeping up with the Kardashians. And the Kardashians, they're not real. Their lips are not real. Their booties are not real. Their breastises is not real. Their lifestyle is not real. Everything they speak, talk about is for the camera. We have reality basketball wives that none of them were married to a basketball player. We have hip hop in Atlanta, and most of them didn't even have hip hop careers until after they got off the show. Like everything that we're seeing and we're watching now is fake. We have fake business coaches. We have fake relationship gurus. Everything, the majority. I won't say everything because there's a lot of real people out there. I know you ladies, you guys are real. There's a lot of real people out there, but there's way more people that are exaggerating who they are, what they have, whether or not they're happy. You have people committing suicide, people who people are looking up to, wanting to be like, that are killing themselves. You have relationship goals, Will and Jada, and they have, you know, open relationship. Like, is that really what you want? We have to really, and I forget what conversation we had and who said it, but somebody said we're waiting for leaders to come and save us when we are our own leaders. We're also our own relationship goals. We're also our own health goals. We're also our own lifestyle goals, like who you are, what you do, what you want to become, what you want to have. That belongs to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just like there's nothing wrong with if you haven't arrived at that place yet and you don't have it. I'm literally right now in my new office that I have, nothing. Look, nothing is on this wall. Not a one thing, nothing. And I'm okay with it because I can fake it and pretend like I got all this grandiose shit, but I don't. There's nothing here. Now, y'all don't be judging me. I got my new computer over here and I got all the stuff to go on my desk. You see my desk is dirty as hell. But why fake it? Like, why throw something up here to be fake? I would tell you that transparency wins more than faking it till you make it. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back. Being transparent and honest and talking about the struggles and what doesn't work wins more than being fake. People want to hear and see the struggle. When I get online with no makeup, not an eyebrow in tow, and I'm crying and I get the most likes, views, comments, inboxes, sales, and transparency. People don't want to, they don't want to see all that social media stuff. The angles that it takes 15 to 20 shots to get that right angle to put on social media. Now let me back up. 15 to 20 shots to get the right angle, and then throw a filter on it, and then make your waist small, and then blur out your under eyes so you don't have these dark circles. And then you got to touch up. Like it takes a lot to get that perfect picture that goes on social media that you then look at and be like, damn, I wish I could be like that then. Dang, I wish my skin looked like that. Dang, I wish I had that house and I was eating where they're eating at. Girl, she charged that on her credit card and her credit card is maxed.
Right.
She split that meal. She's showing you the meal, but she's splitting it with her homegirl on the other side. That ain't her meal. Like we gotta look at some of this stuff and really.
A lot of them homes are Airbnbs. Don't let that fool you either.
Right? Oh, girl, come on now. Speak on it. We really have to take control of who we are and what we want for us, not relative to or based on what somebody else is doing or predicting or showcasing on social media. If we can't verify it or validate it or know what it is. And we especially shouldn't be setting the bar based on celebrities and Hollywood and people on social media who we do not know and love for sure.
Oh, that's right.
You're my son.
That's right.
I know that's right.
And a lot of these celebrities, they're getting this stuff for free, right? So I remember being like a teenager and my mom, she told me, she was just like, you want to buy what? For what? Oh, because you want to be like that celebrity. So you're going to go broke trying to be like this person, but they didn't pay for that. You know, these brands, they know that if they give it to a celebrity, And now we call it influencer marketing, right? Because I do that for my brand. But they know that if they get the most popular person to wear something, all of the other people, as regular folk, we're going to go out and spend money on it.
Exactly. Spending money you don't have to impress people you don't even like or don't know, just to keep up with some thought that's not even real. It's crazy.
Madam President, come on now. I know you got something to say back there. You're on mute, I think.
Let me unmute, guys. Sorry about that. I apologize, but I really do. I'm just listening to everybody, and the harsh reality is, it's kind of like you said, Lene, our grandparents now say you was keeping up with the Joneses. Now the Joneses is right into the palms of our hands. They not even our neighbors no more. They sitting across the world sometimes and have a life that we all live a different life, right? So then the social media aspect tries to like put us in the same box, this 4x9 square. And it's just so unreal. Like I look at some of the social media pages and I enjoy it. And I said, God damn, she's matching every day. You know, and I'm like, what kind of life is she living? And I was telling a friend of mine because, I was also trying to enhance my brand this week, and I'm like, okay, let me get up and get my life together. And then I just was like, this is an exhaustion. To stay in this space of like, hey, guess what, guys? I get it all figured out every single day, and I look great while trying to figure all this shit out. And the crazy part is, it's not real. So I think what helps people like me is, being a person who does like a level of realness. I want my bullet in the eyes. I don't want mine behind the head, baby. Keep it real with me. I'm that type, but that's who I am. That's what I prefer. Yes, sometimes it don't feel good, but I also was thinking about this, the true level of wealth, right? So I looked at this whole industry because I work in the industry as well. And I'm like, man, the manager be getting 10%. You have all these people. Don't nobody even know those people names. You got people who make as much money as a Will Smith, who's been in the industry because they've been in the industry 30 years. Will Smith, I mean, I'm using a very extravagant name like Will Smith and Denzel Washington. Those are actors that we know. They've been doing this for 20 plus years, right? But if I gave you a Morris Chestnut, right? We know Morris Chestnut from yeah, right. But Morris Chestnut is not a Denzel Washington, right? So if somebody hires a Morris Chestnut for a show or a movie, they're not going to pay him the same that they'll pay a Denzel Washington, okay? So one of the things that I just kind of want to highlight is there's a cameraman on the other side that's just this regular cameraman who's been doing this for 25, 30 years, probably got as just much money in the bank account as a Morris Chestnut. You don't even know his name. Yeah. You have people who kind of been doing this industry for the last 25 plus years, sometimes even 10 years, that have worked steadily. When Morris Chestnut works, he has to get a part. Now, the people behind the scenes and behind the camera, all these people making this stuff happen, they work no matter Morris Chestnut working or not. So those are your everyday people that bring Hollywood to life, that people constantly kind of overlook, right? But they live very well. So here's another thing right here too. I always say you can dream or wish for people life, but you also got to get their death. Right? You just can't get just all the good and not get all the bad that comes along with it. I look at all of this and I wonder too, there's this woman, speaking of what Faye said, there's this woman who is a nurse. This was a story that happened a couple weeks ago. She's a registered nurse. You do not become a nurse if you cannot comprehend, right? You have to have an understanding. You have to be intelligent. There are tests that you have to pass to become a nurse. She literally was fired from her job because she was on social media showing babies with birth defects, making fun of them. Now, this is a person who's lost their damn mind. You hear me? This is the effect of fame. Just willing to do anything for it. You losing your mind. You losing your common sense. You about to lose. You've lost your job trying to get people to look at you and laugh with you, and you're not even funny. It's like the dumb class clown. Like it's all good, but you're the only one suspended. The whole class laughed and had a good time. That's the kind of stuff my mama used to tell me. I don't know if anybody else had to tell them that, but it's just kind of a harsh reality. So I really believe that keeping integrity, I just was like, damn, do you get paid for keeping a life full of integrity anymore? Do you get paid for just like keeping your clothes on? And I think the race is slow and steady, but there's a lot of victory in the long run, right? So it's like, I see it. Also too, you remember we was doing the other live about a month ago where the male singers and rappers that are married they basically have to act like they're single. So we have to realize, what are we doing as a group? What are we doing as consumers, where we have enlightened and highlighted this world that we live in, where this shit is becoming okay? Like, what is our personal contribution to the Neckham IG model? And you're like, damn, it ain't me personally, but I think what's happening is so many people are straddling the fence. They think that they can be for this and for this. Oh, I'm for the stripper I'm for the stripper in the streets, and I'm for the scientist. Guess what? You loud for both of them. You're gonna have to shut up for one. So the scientist can get what she needs to get, because Lord knows if we pass the hell out, the stripper can't help us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like we need to, I really feel like we have to be extremists about rejecting this society that they keep putting on us. I was researching the metaverse. I said, damn, we already in the metaverse, already. We already there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those situations. Like when I was buying my house, one of the things that I had to keep in mind is it took me some time to learn this, because I was a first-time home buyer. I had never gone through the process, and I had started the process with my ex, and we was going through these homes, and I was loving all the nice homes. I was like, look, I like this one. The ones I couldn't afford, the ones that had all the bells and whistles. And then this man told me, who was a developer, and he wasn't a black man, but he was wise in this industry. He said, they gonna get you with them bells and whistles, baby. He said, you better let it go. He said, light fixtures can be changed out. Paint can do some wonders. Floors can be removed and repaired. He said, don't let them get you with bells and whistles. All that to say, I got like a $200-something thousand house. A year or so later, my house is like at $350K in value. Great. Now imagine if you start at $350K, it's no value to that. So I believe that, and guess what? I walk into those spaces having complete understanding about being in an apartment, because I live in an apartment, and just having that mindset of like, I'm not attached to these things. I'm solid, whether the house is, I am the house. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta have no house, no nice car in order to be a person of quality. I'm a quality human being. It's people out there that's living in a mansion and they rotten as hell.
Exactly.
They kids don't even like them. Jump off the nearest bridge. So it's like we have to decide what is important to us, and then we have to act accordingly. Now, groupthink is another thing. I'm gonna pass the mic, because what happens is when you get in the Tory and the 3LW, you can have one of them like, hell no, I'm not trying to be acting like I'm in a house. I ain't in no house. No, this ain't my house. We got kids thinking that we in a house. And then you got the other two girls like, girl, look, this is how we're going to get this check. Come on. That's it.
You know what, Madam President, real quick story. They did a study where they had people who weren't part of an experiment walk into a dentist office or something. And randomly, everyone in the lobby, there would be a tone, like it'd be like a beep, and then everyone would stand up, and then they'd sit down. And then after so long, the person that wasn't in on it, the one person wasn't in on it, they just started standing up when they would hear the beep. Like, so they're waiting for their dentist appointment or whatever appointment. After a few times, they start standing up every time they hear a beep and sit back down for no good reason, right? They even went further on the experiment to where all of the actors were not there anymore. And it was just the one person who wasn't in on it. And he kept it going for everyone else that came into the waiting room. Okay. Wow. And then when asked at the end, it was a he or she, he was just like, I just did it because everybody else was doing it. Like, what? Why are you standing up, my dude? Like, I was like, why saw that? You know?
I saw that too.
Yeah, so we got to keep it our third eye. We got to stay in tune with ourselves and what we want and stop looking outward. You know, you got to look inward. Look inward. When you start feeling jealous, you start feeling insecure, you start feeling like you may not be enough. You start feeling like you're not going to reach your goals. You have to reevaluate. You know, sometimes we have unrealistic goals. Sometimes we want things that aren't meant for us. And you have to reevaluate and say, what's going to make me happy now? What's going to give me joy right now? And then live in that life. Live your truth, not comparative to anyone else. So I hate relationship goals. I hate when people say that. So I'm like, you don't know what them people got going on in their house. I don't have no people financial goals because I can buy expensive things. I can get me probably 5, 6, 7, 8 loans. I can buy me 2 houses. Can I afford them? You know what I'm saying? Right. That's what really matters. What's the balance sheet? What your credit report look like? That's what I care about, not the stuff, not the facade.
Absolutely. You don't know what nobody bought and took back to the store. You can rent stuff now. They will send you something to your house. You can take a couple of pictures and send it back.
Yeah.
You can rent a bag. Like, you just don't know what is real anymore these days. I want to see you wear it 2 times.
But this is
did you go ahead, Chanel? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Faye. I don't want you to lose your thought because I'm about to shift us.
Oh, I was getting ready to take us down the lane to show y'all what is real quick, and with these Hollywood people, since this is where this all started, and this is where most of these social media influencers get their ideas and where most people get their ideas. When COVID first started last year and Hollywood shut down, actress Gabrielle Union made a point, and I'm glad she said it because she's not one of my favorite people, but I'm glad she made this point because it's important for people to understand what is going on. And she spoke about how the average SAG union actor makes only around $54,000 a year, while the vast majority of actors in the union make only around $1,000 per year from acting work. And she was pointing that out because she wanted to speak on the impact of what shutting down Hollywood was going to do for a lot of the actors. You know, the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, is a American labor union. I don't know if you all knew that SAG is a labor union that represents approximately 160,000 film and television actors, journalists, radio personalities, recording artists, singers, voice actors, internet influencers, fashion models, and other media professionals worldwide. You know, Hollywood doesn't represent not even 0.1% of the general population. Walmart has more than over 160,000 employees, you know, worldwide. And I'm saying that to say that when Gabrielle Union made that point about how actors only make about $54K per year, and the vast majority make around $1,000 per year for acting work, what that means is that you, and probably all of us, make more money than the average actor on TV who is working in television and film. I don't know if a lot of you knew this, but the Screen Actors Guild is only obligated to pay non-union talent federal minimum wage. Federal minimum wage is only $7.25 an hour. Now, granted, in most states where they tend to film a lot of their productions, which is typically California, New Mexico is one, New York City, Atlanta, Miami, and I know Charlotte and Chicago are where a lot of the big name productions tend to take place. So they tend to go by whatever that state's federal minimum wage is. The vast majority of the productions that cross my desk, because I, as someone who works with casting directors to advertise a lot of the the cattle calls, they're only paying about $12 an hour. At minimum, you're only going to work about 12 hours a day. Okay. The average SAG after a union actor, now this is someone who's in the union. We're not talking about Will Smith and Tom Cruise and Idris Elba and none of those big top billed actors. We're talking about the small guy, the waiter who walks up to Tom Cruise and says, "What kind of wine would you have, sir?" Those kinds of actors. At minimum, they get paid up to $1,030 per day maximum. Minimum $206 to $670 per day. What determines the amount that gets paid is the budget for a film or a series. So SAG's basic theatrical agreement applies to films and budgets that are greater than $2 million. So if you're working on a production that is over $2 million and you're coming in as a union actor, you can expect to get that $1,030, probably more depending on if you have a few lines per day. But at minimum, they're only required to pay you only about $206 per day. You know, there are receptionists that answer phones that make more than $206 per day. Okay. You know, so I'm saying that to say that we really need to understand and dig into the depths. When you start to dig and you start to really know what's going on in Hollywood and you start to work with people and you start to understand that the film and television industry works just like your average corporation does, things start to make a little more sense. And then you start to realize, maybe looking up to so-and-so, I should be looking up to my brother who runs his own, computer business. Maybe I should be looking up to my sister who runs her own business consulting business. You know, it really starts to, once the veil gets pulled back and you start to really understand what's going on and how that industry works and how everything there's an order to everything. Like the writers get a certain amount of pay. You have freelance writers like myself, more money writing for Medium. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of that platform, but we actually make more money working for Medium than we probably would writing op-ed for the New York Times. I don't think when you start to understand that world and it starts to make a lot of sense, and it starts to ground you a little bit more, like maybe I need to reassess some things because maybe this isn't what I thought after all. Mm-hmm. Maybe this isn't what I thought after all. Maybe I need to look to, and I always say this, the constant in your life is your family and your friends. That is the only constant in your life. When we all turn off the computer and put our phones away for the evening, the people on those screens disappear. Your family is still there. They're in bed next to you. They're in the room next door to you. That's who's there. And once everything starts to come together, you start to prioritize a little better and you start to realize what's important and what isn't. And then that fake world that is constantly being sold to us, because all it is, it's done for purposes of capitalism. They just want you to spend money to buy a certain product, to watch a certain movie, to purchase a certain food. It's all advertising and marketing. It starts to make sense and you start to realize, okay, this is that world and this is the real world. This is the fake world and this real world.
Faye, you reminded me of something.
And that the real world is the one that matters.
Mm-hmm. Faye, you reminded me of something that I usually ask my clients, and that is, do you want to be popular or do you want to make money? Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, they're chasing that fame because I feel that in our community, we put this fame and popularity on a pedestal. Like, oh, y'all, look at my baby. She was in the latest movie. Look at my baby. She was on the news tonight, or he was on the news tonight. And that it's like that validation, right? Or it's that, like I said, that worth that we put in the big screen and like being on TV. It's just like, okay, you was in that movie, how much you made? You know, so I feel like we do need to ask ourselves, do we want to be popular or do we want to make money? Right. And I think we spoke about this on a previous show where we have people, I think Madam Prez, you said that there's this woman that she has like maybe less than 2,000 followers and she's making money, right? So it's like we're looking at these social media accounts like, oh yeah, I want to get to 20,000 followers and 5,000 likes, 10,000 likes. And it's just like, that's not going to make you money. You have plenty of people on social media who are popular, but they're not making money. So you need to ask, what do you want?
Yeah. And figure it out.
And can I just say real quick?
Mm-hmm.
And can I just say real quick, and I don't know if nobody knows this, you could buy likes and followers, okay? They're bot accounts and they are for sale. Now, granted, your comment section may be filled with tons of spam, but you can buy likes and followers. And there are tons of online personalities that do it. I personally prefer the organic market because I deal with real clients. I deal with real people. I meet a lot of real people offline. I have met a lot of real people offline. I prefer to deal with the organic market, but you have a lot of celebrities that literally buy followers. As a matter of fact, I challenge everyone to do this. Make a dummy Instagram account right now. Instagram is actually going to have you follow either Chris Brown, Rihanna, or Kim Kardashian before you even hit the follow button. You know why? Because it's paid for. It's paid for. And even the reality stars are doing a lot of fake it. I actually think they have it worse than a lot of TV and SAG union actors because not only are they not union actors, but they are not considered employees of either the TV or the network on which the production company, they're not employees of the production company either. They're not employees of NBC, CBS, or nothing. So the person that is responsible for paying them is the production company, and they can be paid anything. And in most cases, it's minimum wage based on the number of hours you are called to film certain scenes. And at best, they give you per diem. Per diem could be like money for your card ride to the filming location, and they pay for your food. If I'm not mistaken, it was a tweet that came out a couple of days ago where someone from Top Model said that they only got paid like $60 a day or something. I don't know who that was. I think Tyra or someone tweeted that. But that $60 a day is actually good when you consider the fact that they are only obligated to pay you $7.25 per hour. And at best, you're going to work maybe 6 to 8 hours. Maybe less than that per day, depending on whatever the production decides to pay you. Stars that are on ensemble shows are typically paid central to how central they are to the show and according to the show's popularity. So for instance, Kim Kardashian and the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because that's a big ensemble show production, they're typically going to be paid more than some newcomer with 1 million plus Instagram followers on Love and Hip Hop. And that's why I said when you do your research and you work in these industries and you understand things, it starts to put a lot in perspective. And you realize that, you know what, maybe my bank teller job at Wells and Fargo isn't so bad. Maybe me working here and doing my bump and curl at my hair salon isn't so bad. I actually have it made. I actually have it really, really good. And again, you start to realize and appreciate what is real, what's fake. There was something our parents used to tell us back in the day. I know that mine did. My parents constantly reminded us all the time, me and my siblings, and mind you, I have 8 other siblings besides myself. They consistently reminded us that the people on TV were not real, that the storylines were not real, that the characters were fake. Okay, we need to reach a point where we know that Angela Bassett was not Tina Turner, Lawrence Fishburne was not Ike Turner, and Whoopi Goldberg is Whoopi Goldberg. She's not Celie in The Color Purple. Those were characters and those are stories. And I think that a lot of adults, because it's a shame that as kids you're told that, But I'm starting to feel like a lot of adults need to be reminded of that, because I feel like a lot of adults are so caught up in this virtual reality that they actually have this idea that the that they actually live either isn't enough, or that they don't.
Faye, you're coming and going. You're coming and going. You're in and out. You're pulling a Teddy over there.
I know it's not me, Dave.
It's like you're pulling like, I want to reset the room real quick. First,
am I there?
Are you back there? Can you
We
hear
got
it?
you. Yeah.
Okay.
Am I back?
Thank you to everybody that is here, that is tuned in. This is the Melanated Air Hour. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock Eastern. It's an hour where we air out melanin business, usually from a business perspective or lifestyle perspective. I am Lene Javette. I do this with Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talks, Madam President at One Madam President, with Keisha Ravenel at We Inspire Brand, and Faye Bishop at Miss Faye Bishop. Please feel free to go and like us on our Facebook page, on our Instagram page, on our YouTube page, individually as well as Melanated Air. Today we're talking about when faking it till you make it goes wrong. We're looking at Hollywood. We're looking at relationship gurus. We're looking at business coaches, social media, Hollywood, talking about the reasons why and how people broadcast fake information that then has other people aspiring to reach these, I won't say unrealistic goals, but goals that they're faking that they've attained, right? They haven't actually reached these goals. Something that I wrote down when you guys were talking was, I'm going to say that almost everybody at some point in their life has faked it till they made it. Like I'm not going to pretend like people have not done that. We've all probably done it at some point. When you was young, you stuffed your bra. You know what I'm saying? You was faking it till you made it. You didn't have nothing but the bra, so you put a little tissue in it.
Tissue paper.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe you faked it like you could drive before you had your driver's license. Like everybody has done a little something where you had to fake it till you make it. You know what I'm saying? Your edges ain't been what they're supposed to. Maybe through some. Everybody has done a little something to fake it till they make it. A post that was going to, but the goal is making it, right? The goal is actually making it. Like at some point you got to stop the faking it and really actually make it. You just don't want to live a fake life, a consistent fake, because you'll lose yourself. When do you get to be real? When do you get to be authentic? When do you get to be yourself? When you get to let people see you for who you are? A post that I saw not so long ago was of Jay-Z when he first got started, and he had on all these gold chains and ropes and ring fingers and whatnot, and he had gold and bling and everything. And then there's a picture of him now, and he had on some black jeans and a black shirt. And it was said, the picture basically said, when Jay-Z first got started, you see him with all this jewelry on and all these rope chains and his diamonds and gold, and it said net worth $100,000. And then you see him today, he's worth $1 billion. He got on not a piece of jewel in sight, a black shirt and some black jeans. And I was like, look at God, look at that. But it's not just him. It's Mark Zuckerberg, it's Bill Gates, it's Steve Jobs, it's whoever you want to talk about. Once you have some shit, you don't got to prove it. You don't got to tell nobody. You don't got to show it. You just get to live in your truth. You don't have to put it on Front Street. What you will see and notice and find is the people who are always having to shove what they have down your throat. There's a reason for that. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't call it the Napoleon complex because that has to do with being short. But we live in a society right now where people feel like you need to know what I have. You need to know what I'm doing. You need to know what I got. But why?
You know,
why do you need to know what I have?
They're not confident.
Well, it's just like it's a societal thing that has to make a complete shift. So it's kind of like this. When you fly first class, they treat you differently when you fly in coach. It ain't our fault, but that's what they do. These are the practices that they've implemented, right? When you are an executive in the industry, they treat you different than when you are a person who is a production assistant. Now, aren't we all the same human being? Don't we all have limbs and a human heart? You know, what's the value of just being human? And then we go and we make. So here's the thing from May said, you got the old Jay-Z, new Jay-Z. They the same Jay-Z. They one person evolved. And you know how me and Teddy feel about Jay-Z. Don't use him.
I mean, we can use Mark Zuckerberg, but the point is the same. When you get to
no, but it's kind of like this. So here's the thing. I don't know why. I don't know why it's the heaven and God truth. People sit at church, they treat the pastor different than they treat the person on the pew next to them. Mm-hmm. People constantly make people this hierarchy in our world. You know, and here's the thing that's really messing up folks though. Because I like to tell people this celebrityism is going to bite you in the ass. Because let me tell you, when that bus get to going and you need a ride, and they be like, Beyonce, you and your grandma and them, everybody, y'all load up, and y'all regular folks, you created that world. You created that world. If a doctor had to sit in, if a doctor was about to go into an operation and your grandmama passed out and Beyonce's grandmama passed out and it's one damn doctor, guess who that doctor going to? The person with the money. The person who got the cash. Guess who created that world? We created that world. And it's going to, we are going to be the ones. Regular folks, it's something crazy about regular folks where you literally, you load up the gun to kill you. How do you load up the gun that's going to be used on you?
Against you. Against you. Why would you do that? Why do you keep rewarding people who don't work as hard as you? Like you think people, like, okay, this is not against Beyonce. I like to use her because she's a great example. Beyonce works hard. She is very talented. But does she put in more hours doing anything than you do at the thing you do? Like if all I had to do was work out every day and learn a routine, that was my job, I would be the best damn routine person ever because I don't have nothing else to do. So they're not better than you. And I think that's the biggest thing is we think that some of these people are better than you, better than yourselves, and they're not. So you put them up, as Madam President said, on some pedestal, and then you keep feeding them your attention. Because you're paying attention, and pay attention is literal. You're paying your attention, giving these celebrity money because you're watching them. You're buying into the advertisements. You're buying what they have, whatever it is. So they're getting paid from your attention, and you're getting nothing. And you're just completely giving. You're not getting anything in return. So I think it is like a mental disease to want to keep lifting people up at the same time bringing yourself down. Madam President, you said a few months ago, and I still need to have you on my YouTube, where you were talking about erasure of the middle class. It is happening. It is happening. Just like you said, first class gets treated so much better than economy class. And it's getting worse. Now you have to
getting worse
in a middle seat. Like you got to pay to sit in economy class, but at the front of the economy class, not the back of the economy class. Yep. What the hell? Like, what is happening? And we need to say, hell no, but we're not. We're all just letting it happen, and it's going to take us over. And when the middle class is gone, we all going to be looking around wondering, because everybody think they got it going on. You making those six figures. That's still middle class, okay? Especially if you live in California, Southern Florida, Washington, D.C., New York City. Yep. That ain't nothing. So now you're going to be stripping and scraping to get by.
Wait. Did you say stripping and scraping? Did you say stripping and scraping?
You might be stripping and scraping. What your fans only, your only fans. Stripping.
Let me say something about this, Teddy. So a friend of mine, she would say that Beyonce is the hardest working woman in the industry. Like she's a hard working.
She don't work harder than me. I promise you. She don't. She don't work harder than me.
She just got a bigger team. That's it, Teddy. That's all.
The team, yes.
But what I wanted to say was, in China, they banned celebrities from sharing and showing their wealth.
Yep.
Do you agree? I don't know if you guys want to pick this up on the next segment, but the question is, do you agree with that? And I'm going to start by saying that I think that is a phenomenal step in the right direction to build basically emotional esteem back into people. People around here depressed about shit that they ain't got no control over. Yep. Baby, you ain't got no control over some of this stuff because you keep thinking that it's you and it's a giant that you won't even tap into. You tapped into tap in, 2 likes on the gram. It's a whole system that needs to be dismantled. Yes. And I believe that. And Ice Cube even said, he said back in the day when you had money, you used to tuck your gold around people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Exactly.
You drove your regular car around people that you didn't have out of respect. I'm showing you respect with your broke ass. I'm showing you respect.
Yes.
But you got the wealth because you got your family, you got all these things, you got your good health. Now you're ruining all those good things for the material things.
Yes.
Yeah.
That thing used to be worth something. Yep. I said this. Imagine if we lived in a world where your honesty could pay your debt. If we lived in a world where your integrity was your credit score. Some of y'all would be so damn broke, it would be crazy. You know, because those are some important components that you just won't even live up to. Yeah. And we look at these people and the Gabrielle Union's ass and the Jay-Z's, you know, they reach these astronomical heights. And how many damn backs did they walk on to get there?
Exactly.
You know, and the thing is, it's just one of those situations that I believe that if we implemented some of that in our own community space, because we're going to build our own Black National Convention property, arena, complex.
Speaking it into existence.
And we're going to be living, we're going to have a garden and waterfalls, and we're going to be good. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's going to be on the metaverse or if it's going to be.
I don't know where
I'll build it on the metaverse. Let's do it.
It's happening. So, like, my point is, I just really feel like, you know, I don't know. I know I'm not a politician. I don't, you know, want to talk about government, political science degrees. We talking about the esteem of a people. We shouldn't have 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds and 30-year-olds wanting to commit suicide because they're looking at what they were never able to reach. And I'm going to pass the mic, but I'm going to share this story right here. 2 stories in the hood, in the ghetto. And I grew up in that environment. And I like nice things. I don't want nobody on this live to ever think that Madam President don't like nice shit. Because Madam President like nice things, okay? I ain't dropping on my knees for it though. I ain't gonna do that. Right. And if I have to, if Madam President had to lose her soul for it, she won't have it.
Right.
And okay, so
wait, Madam President, I need you to close your thoughts because we're getting ready to close. We're at our hour.
I'm gonna tell this story next time because somebody else got to talk.
And I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this as your closing out, and I'm gonna go around the room and let everybody do a quick, 20, 30-second close out, and then we're gonna go ahead and finish. I know it's Thursday. From a time perspective, we're trying to be respectful. I know mompreneur down there, she got to pick her kids up and stuff, so we want to be respectful.
My family is my constant, remember that. Seriously.
So why don't you go ahead in case you have to drop off, Faye. Go ahead and do your closing comment.
Say that, you said me?
No, me? Faye, just in case she has to drop off, so I have her start her closing comment.
Well, it's like I've been saying, and I actually tweeted this the other day. Can you guys hear me clearly? Am I good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I tweeted the other day that a lot of us are not woke. We're just hypnotized. We really are. A lot of the lines have become so blurred between what is real, what is fake. And what has happened is that it has completely distorted the average person's perception of their own reality. So much so that, like I've been saying pretty much for this broadcast, that you have a lot of people who actually now believe that they don't deserve their own reality. They need to feel like they're either a part of someone else's else's reality, or that they deserve the fantasy that they tend to create in the virtual reality world. Hint, hint, social media, better known as the internet and social media. And I want us to realize that we need to move away from that, because what happened is the more the so-called Black celebrity invited us into their lives and their homes through TV shows like MTV Cribs, the more we have forgotten about the condition of the overall state of the Black life and the Black community in terms of our economic, financial, and personal affairs. And I just want to say this, Keisha, I love you. And I thank you so much for this line that you have. I want to tell everyone on the panel and in the audience, you are indeed enough. What you have is enough. You do not need to become Jesus Christ superstar to feel worthy. Everything is not for everyone, and everything is not meant to be said or done in front of everyone. You can vacation and travel with posting videos and photographs of it. You can love yourself. You can love your family. You can love your man. You can love on your woman and your life and be just as wonderful as you are without needing the world to validate that for you. Not everyone is meant to be LeBron James. Not everyone is meant to be Rihanna or Jay-Z. Not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur. If you want to make 8 figures and be a billionaire someday, which is what the Southern Hood chick said in the comments section, you can do that. All you have to do is invest your money properly. You can do that being a doggone plumber. Janitor. There are people who work in HVAC and plumbing that live better lives than a lot of celebrities. Okay. You can do so much and be just as glorious as you are being an unknown with your college degree or high school diploma, whichever you prefer, or trade school diploma, who has settled in your wonderful career and quiet life. You are enough. Remember that. And unfollow celebrities, please. Jesus, God.
All right. Go ahead, Keisha.
So, Faye, you touched on some points that I was thinking about throughout the show, and I was wondering how much of the people that are becoming entrepreneurs now really want to be entrepreneurs. Do they want to do it because they really want it, or do they want to do it because now it's entrepreneurship that is in the light that is affording you this certain lifestyle it shows a certain lifestyle that you want? So that's something that we might be able to touch on the next show or on another show. But I want the viewers I want you to do what you want. Do what feeds your soul. Do what makes you happy. And I'm saying you. So that means you have to look internally, right? Do what God put in you, not what other people are telling you to do. Don't look how you think other people want you to look. Don't do what other people want you to do. This is your life. So you have to do what makes you happy. And you can only determine that by truly digging deep down and saying, okay, this is what I want. This is what is going to make me happy. And as Faye said, whether it's, okay, I want to be a janitor, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to be whatever it is, like, it's up to you. What do you want? So just consider that, like, all of this social media stuff and Hollywood, it's fake. It's fake. And just remember that, like, you have to bring the real to you.
Awesome. And Teddy?
I'm just going to end with 3 points. I think we all need to reframe our priorities. And as Southern Hood Chick says, instead of saying you want 8 figures, I want to hear, and not that you don't do this, I'm not picking on you, I'm just using your example. I need to hear you say, I want to sell $1,000 price courses, because that's how you're going to get the money. So I really don't want to know what you want. I want you to establish how you're going to get it and go after it. The second thought is, think of someone that's lived a long life. And what do they think about at the end of that life? It's not about any of the stuff that people have made important now. It's about family. It's about love. It's about opportunity. It's about speaking to your loved ones and not missing out on the things you really wanted to do that made you happy. It's not if you owned a Gucci belt or a Birkin bag or drove a Bentley you couldn't afford. Like, it wasn't any of that. It's all of the stuff that really matters. And the third thought I have was about the metaverse. I forget, it was Madam President or Faye who said it. This is where we're headed. Like, if you're going to go with your mind into the metaverse, at least try to make some money off of it. So join the Black Crypto Club on the Black Business School, where I'll help bring you into the metaverse where you can make some money off of it. And you're not just paying attention for free and giving away what you have, because this is exactly where it's headed. This is where big business, big marketing wants us to go. I don't want to take you there, but I do want you to make some money off of it. So look me up, Black Business School, Black Crypto Club. That's it.
Say it one more time for the people in the back.
Black Business School, the Black Crypto Club. Even use my name, Teddy Ewing, as a code. Get you a special discount. I better see you there.
Better. All right, all right, all right. So I'm gonna leave us with this thought. We get to set the value. I forget who said it during this conversation, but we literally get to set the value of life. And what we've done is put more value and or given away the value to celebrities, people in Hollywood, people in social media, people we think are doing better than us, people we think have more than us, people we think are happy. We've done that. We've given that value away. And ultimately, in giving them that value, we've taken it from ourselves. So what I would challenge everyone to do is give yourself that value back. You don't have to be the next Oprah. You don't have to be like Gabrielle Union. You don't have to shoot like LeBron. You don't have to have Will and Jada's relationship. You don't have to be as thin as the Instagram model. You don't have to do any of those things. And you have to take that value back from those individuals and give it to yourself. Give that value to your family. Face it. Give that value to your brother, your sister, or somebody that you know, a friend that has an entrepreneur spirit that needs your support. There are things and people that you can touch. It's physical. It's right there. It's in front of you. You can hold them. You can spend time with them. You can invest in them. Those are the things that we should be putting our value in. Those are the things that we should be aspiring to be. And so when we're thinking about, getting back to community, and we're thinking about legacy, and we're thinking about our empire, and we're thinking about what's going to be left behind, think about value. Think about what you're teaching. Think about what you're showing, because those are the things that will last the test of time. In about 20 years, Nicki Minaj's booty is going to be 60. I'm dying to see what's going to happen. A lot of these Instagram models, what's her face? Amber Rose with a tattoo across her head. I am dying to see what these fools are going to look like at 60 and 70 and 80. Chasing after fame, chasing after fakeness, chasing after likes and follows and views and dollars. What is their body and their soul going to look like when they're 60 and 70 and 80? Don't make those mistakes. Chase the value that you currently have right now and the people that you have right now. Be true, be honest, be real, be blessed, be one. We'll see you guys next week. Today's Thursday. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. This is the Melanated Air Hour. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. Please make sure you go and support and follow us on all of our social media platforms and all of the ladies individually. Again, you have Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talk, Madam President at One Madam President, Faye Bishop at Miss Faye Bishop, Keisha Ravenel at We Inspire Brand, and I am Lene Javette, and that's my handle. I am Lene Javette. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out. Bye.